All right, guys, here we go. My name is Jose Trujillo. I am an artist, and I want to thank you for showing up here and being part of my jam. Let's get started. I'm going to paint a vase with flowers here in just a second. Just cleaning out my palette. All right. Let's do this. So I try to do a very simple approach right here. So that I don't get too distracted with minutia or detail, which to me seems to be pretty much the same thing. To me, detail is a bit like minutia. This doesn't mean that I don't put quality in the work, but the quality is in the attention to the artwork, not necessarily in the detail of the artwork. Now, if you put attention, you can put detail. It doesn't really matter. But it's just not the way I do it. For me, the juice is in the attention that I'm. The full attention into the artwork, regardless of what I'm painting. And for that, I pause too. You'll see me do this. And this is to ground myself. And then I keep moving. Because when you ground yourself, you stop thinking for a little bit. Which is the basis of what I'm sharing here with you guys. I'm going to switch brushes. Okay, Mija, thank you. And so this is the way I do it. Lots of paint. There's lots of impasto happening. I hope the camera can catch that. Some artists joke around and ask me if I buy paint in gallons, and I wish I did. Some companies I think do sell them. Someone showed me one of the companies that do sell it, but I'm so used to the paint that I use. I use Winsor & Newton. I'm so used to it that changing it would be nice, but it would probably slow me down too, because I have a rhythm already. I wouldn't change unless I need to. Now, in the beginning, I changed a lot, and the reason why I changed so much is because I was experimenting, and that's important to do. But then you find your pace. You know, it's sort of like, the way I see it is kind of like Carlos Santana is not going to be changing guitars all the time at a certain, you know, or Slash. my examples are so interesting to me, anyways. You kind of use the same thing, and it's not because it's comfort. Some people might think that. It's not because it's comfort. It's because you already know that. And so if you know it, you're very prolific at it. There's no need to be changing it. You understand that, and you're prolific with it, and you know how it reacts. And so it's not necessarily about comfort. It's more about being what's the word? I don't know. You could use many words there, but you know, being productive with it. Which is one of the reasons why I tend to not change many brushes also, because I kind of understand how my my system works, right? My system, the way that I paint with the brushes that I use and how I use it. One of the things that I would recommend artists though, is if you have the time, if you have the energy, which I'm pretty sure most do, prime your canvases. Do prime your canvases 2-3 times if you need to. That makes a lot of difference when you're painting, because the surface is not fighting you, right? You're not fighting against the surface. I tend to fight a lot against my surface, and it's because I don't prime them. I buy them from the store, the canvases, and they're already primed, but they're not. It's not the best prime, right? They're not very primed, and so the surface has a lot of tooth. It's very rugged, and so that makes it very difficult. Unless you're used to it and you're okay with it, like myself, it becomes you're kind of fighting it. And now you would ask me, why do I not prime them? I don't like spending time on that. It would be good, but I might get one of my assistants to either prime them or if I can buy the canvases at the prices that I get them for, already primed, double primed, or whatever, I would probably do it. But the best bet would probably be to buy the canvases with the type of priming that I want. The second best bet would be to have one of my assistants prime my canvases, or get an assistant specifically to do some little labors in my studio, because it makes a world difference. Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing with you guys things that I know for sure in my studio that I understand that are extremely helpful. People ask me that all the time, and so I don't think it's fair for me not to talk about it. It's not important for the artwork itself, it's important for productivity. Okay? Not important for the artwork itself. It's not going to make you paint better if you prime the canvas better. It might, but it's not. That's not what it's for. It's for productivity. The less you fight the canvas, the more productive you are. Right? You're not. It's like applying oil to machinery. That's really what it is. It's like applying more oil to a machinery. It runs faster. It runs better. So that's pretty much the way I look at those things. I do lots of things for productivity. But regardless of what you do to be more productive as an artist, what matters most, on top of everything else, I know, here it comes, okay, ready? Is actually fucking showing up. That's really what matters most. And so I think a lot of artists out there are trying to be productive. They're like, hey, Jose, well, how do you do this? What do you do that? And I'm like, dude, don't do that to yourself. You don't even need to prime it, double prime it, add oil to your paint to be more productive. You don't need hacks. What you need is to show up. Once you start showing up, you start learning all those little tricks. But they're meaningless. They're pointless if you don't show up. If you don't show up, no matter how many hacks you got or how many little tricks, or you know, using more paint, you become more productive many times when you use more paint. You also become more productive when you use wider brushes. You know, all those little things. But those little things are not important at all if you don't even show up in the first place. They matter like a hair. Like if you're in a race, you know, and you know how they say you won by a hair, that's how it matters. But if you're not running full throttle, it makes no difference. It doesn't matter whether Oh, I want to thin my paint like Jose. Oh, I'm going to be more productive because I'm going to be more loose. Look, being more loose, thinning your paint, using wider brushes, not focusing so much on detail, as opposed to, you know, just showing up and painting. All those things are important for productivity, what I just mentioned right now. Double priming your canvas is extremely important if you want to be very productive. Double, triple priming depending on what you need. Temperature in the studio is extremely important. If it's too cold, you will not be as productive as you need to be, because paint reacts very different when it's cold. So I have heaters. I have 3 heaters in my vicinity here in my studio. So I keep it warm. And so, but all those things don't matter. I just shared with you a few of the things that I do to stay productive in my studio. All those things don't matter if you don't show up consistently. Like if you're taking notes and you're like, yeah. Look, don't even worry about that. I promise you. I promise you this. If you show up, you'll figure out what you need to do. The problem is that most people don't even show up enough. That's really the problem. That's the real problem you're facing, is that you're not even showing up as you need to. It's not the other stuff. So some people tell me, no matter how, no wonder why you're so productive or so prolific. Look at all these things that you do. That's like saying, no wonder why this professional athlete runs so fast. Look at the shoes he's wearing. They're weightless shoes. It's almost offensive when people tell me that that's why I'm productive, because I paint loose, or I'm productive because I thin my paint, or I'm productive because I use very bold brushwork. No, guys, I'm productive because I put in the fucking work. That's why I'm productive. That's number one. If that's not handled, nothing else matters. That's the number one most important thing compared to everything else. If you put in the work, you automatically start becoming productive. There's a neuroscience proven already. The more you show up, the more productive you start becoming. It's already proven.